Now, the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price did not change at midnight, holding at $19.9 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News time, 2:40.
When Lana Duke, owner of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, wanted to grow sales and brand awareness in the GTA, she used the combined power of 680 News and Sportsnet 590 The Fan to help her reach more of her target market.
In a city like Toronto, you have two major factors. You have business and sports. You're commuting to work and you're following the daily news. And of course, if you're like me, you're also following your favorite sports team. And I just think it's a natural to buy 680 News and Sportsnet 590 The Fan because advertising on both of them allows us to reach our total audience.
So the two-station combination is real?
For years and years, there's nothing stronger than radio doing it consistently. So I knew that 680 News and Sportsnet 590 The Fan would just be a powerhouse for us. It's definitely working. Definitely go with both and it'll come back to you tenfold.
Okay, Lena, I gotta ask. Can you do the catchphrase for us?
Come hungry, darling.
Get 680 News and Sportsnet 590 The Fan working for you. Call 416.
Come hungry. It sounds like keywords for a fucking porn site or something.
680 News time, 2:41. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's
These people don't fucking think before they release their advertising. They don't fucking think at all.
401, just east of Brock Street, we have a left lane closed off. Now, that's just for some pothole repairs, but it's going to be closed for about the next week or so. So right now, no delays. You probably won't see too much volume, at least throughout the rest of the day. But come Monday, during rush hour in and out of the city, it's definitely going to start to back up. So just keep that in the back of your mind for when the Monday morning commute starts. Eastbound on the 407, the ramps to the 427 are blocked off for some construction. And other than that, your major routes are in great shape this morning. If you see something we're missing, give us a hands-free call at star 680. Off of our major routes on our city streets, east and westbound Commissioners is closed from Munition to Don Roadway. And north and southbound Don Roadway is closed from Commissioners to the Lakeshore. This is all for long-term construction that is set to wrap up around May. To your next report coming up at 2:51 with the forecast, Malia Sheikh.
A daytime high of +3 today. A cloudy start to your day, but we are expecting some rain in the afternoon. Also a risk of freezing rain, a low of 2. Monday, it warms up to +8, but that wet weather will continue. Rainy conditions and windy as well, a low of 1. Your high for today, 3 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, it's 3 degrees, feeling more like 0. Few clouds in the sky, and over Pearson Airport, partly cloudy, 1 degree, feeling more like -4. Still to come on 680 News, a female astronaut has set a new record. 680 News time, 2:43.
Get Air Miles, Reward Miles on all your purchases at Ready Honda in Mississauga during the Bring Home a Honda event. Hey, the 2020s are here. Lease the 2020 Honda CR-V LX two-wheel drive at Ready Honda for only $90 weekly at 4.99% APR for 60 months with $0 down and $0 security deposits. Vehicle license fee, HST, and extra wear and tear are extra.
I'm Bob Redinger, president of Ready Honda. Stop by and find out why thousands of people say, I love my Ready Honda.
Some savings are too big to fit into Fox. Like Sunwing's Boxing Week sale, where you can save up to 40% on all-inclusive vacations at top-rated resorts. Save big now, so this winter you can vacation better with our best price guaranteed. But hurry, Boxing Week deals this hot will be flying off the shelf. Book by January 3rd with your travel agent or Sunwing.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's 3 degrees. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Jordan Coulter. Here's the top stories this hour. Better bundle up. The cold is coming. Be prepared for rapidly changing weather expected to hit the GTA. An incoming ice storm brings freezing rain, which means slippery driving conditions. A man is in hospital with serious head injuries after being hit by a car near Dixon and Martin Grove. There's still no information on the suspect driver or if any charges are being laid at this time. And coming up after sports, ever thought about skating in your underwear? This could be your chance. 680 News time, 2:45. Now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Colin Teskey.
The Maple Leafs erased a 2-goal deficit in the third versus the Rangers. Austin Matthews, second of the game, tied it with under a minute to go. That meant the Leafs and Rangers needed to settle this in overtime.
Panarin back the other way. Panarin in with a pass. Scores!
Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Maple Leafs salvaging a single point in a 5-4 loss to New York. Meantime, the Raptors avenged that Christmas Day loss at the hands of the Boston Celtics. Kyle Lowry terrific with 30 points. Fred VanVleet, Patrick McCaw also chipping in with 18 as the Raptors go into Boston and pick up a 113-97 win. Canada whipped at the World Juniors by Russia, losing 6-0, dropping their record to 1-1. An MRI did reveal that Canadian forward Alexis Lafreniere's injury may not be as bad as originally expected. He could return later in the tournament. OHL action, Steelheads leave Owen Sound, a 6-3 win. The Toronto Rock also go into Rochester and beat the Nighthawks 14-11. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Timmins on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 2:46.
Castle Life Furniture's December sale ends soon.
Hi, I'm Rob from Castle Life. For 17 years, our December sale has always been our biggest event. Unlike other sales, this sale is on every item we carry. And this year, we have over 30 of our most popular vendors in on the act, including our top modern Canadian manufacturers, as well as a great selection from all over the world. Come and see what we have in store or online to enjoy our best pricing of the year.
Sale ends soon. Up to 30% off all new orders. 3 locations, including Yonge, north of Eglinton. Visit CastleLife.com.
Graham and Ben Loudon.
Looking good, Ben.
Thanks, Dad. You too. Remember how I thought I could lose weight on my own?
It never works.
So eventually, I took your advice and called Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men.
And with the support of the Harvey Brooker team of men, I've lost 40 pounds myself.
And I've lost over 80 pounds. I was never hungry and I can eat real foods. At 20 years old, my life has changed in incredible ways.
Now everyone can with 20% off 2020 memberships.
Check it out at harveybrooker.com.
Remember, if you can do it alone,
you would have done it already.
Veggie Noodle Company has announced, or rather, it's voluntarily recalling its Cece's brand of fresh veggie ramen with chicken broth due to concerns the egg contained may be contaminated with listeria. Veggie Noodle gets its hard-boiled eggs from Georgia-based Allmark Foods, which recalled its hard-boiled eggs earlier this month. Allmark has expanded its recall twice to involve even more products. The recall impacts all expiration dates of the fresh veggie ramen, but no other products, according to the company. Listeria is a bacteria that can seriously causes serious and potentially fatal infections in children and in the elderly. Healthy individuals may suffer high fever, headache, stiffness, nausea, abdominal pain, and diarrhea, and pregnant women could miscarry or have stillbirths due to listeria. The current listeria outbreak has resulted in 1 death and illnesses in 5 U.S. states. It is not believed the tainted eggs have made their way into Canada. 680 News Time, 2:48. It was a close call for actor Zac Efron, who almost didn't make it home for Christmas. The actor was in Papua New Guinea filming his ironically named new documentary, Killing Zac Efron, when he reportedly nearly died after contracting a form of typhoid or similar bacterial infection.
Ironic doesn't mean
According to the Daily Mail, Efron was flown on a
called it the death of yourself and you almost died. That's fitting. That's not irony.
Admitted in stable condition. After being cleared by doctors, Efron flew back to the United States on Christmas Eve. The documentary started filming on December 4th and follows Efron into the jungle where he was supposed to stay off-grid for 21 days with only basic gear and a guide. You're listening to 680 News. An American astronaut has set a new mark for the longest space flight by a woman. Shelley Adler of the Associated Press has more.
NASA officials say Christina Cook has broken the 288-day
Why are they making women do more and more work?
Space Station Commander Peggy Whitson. The 40-year-old Cook, who's an electrical engineer from Montana, has been in space since March 15th. She's expected to spend a total of 328 days on board the space station. Before breaking the endurance record for a woman in space, Cook set another milestone as part of the first all-female spacewalking team in October. I'm Shelley Adler.
Still to come on 680 News, we'll have your traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time, 2:50.
During this holiday season, have you noticed how some homes seem to sparkle more than others? Take a look around. It's probably the lighting. Lighting makes all the difference in a home. It makes the ordinary extraordinary. So why not take advantage of the unbelievable Boxing Week event on now at Lando Lighting, where everything is on sale. You don't want to miss this sale. Up to 50% off selected items. For a massive lighting selection and deep discounts, go now to 210 Clarence Street, Brampton.
The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go.
The holidays don't quite feel like the holidays without a home. Share the warmth with Toronto's homeless this holiday season by donating at fredvictor.org.
680 News Time 2:51. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Carlin Donahue.
This report is brought to you by Don Valley North Lexus. Well, right now, if you're traveling on the major routes, there really isn't that much happening. It's going to be a pretty decent drive for you out there, but just a little spot of construction here and there. We'll start with the eastbound 401. So just east of Brock Street, we do have the left lane closed off for a pothole repair. Now, that's just going to be there for about another week or so because the MTO has said that they're going to push that back. So just keep that in mind. There's no delays going on right now, but come Monday morning, there might start to be some because rush hour, one less lane. It's just not a great combination. Eastbound on the 407, we have the ramps to the 427 blocked off for some construction as well. That is both north and southbound. And other than that, your major routes are in great shape this morning. We don't have too much going on.
I found out why Don Lands and O'Connor was closed
other
yesterday.
routes, however, are city streets, east and westbound Commissioners. That is closed from Munition to Dawn Roadway. And then we've got Dawn Roadway shut down from Commissioners to the Lakeshore. If you are traveling in the downtown area right now, we're not really seeing too many delays. It's a pretty decent drive, but of course, King Street and Bathurst and that area, the Adelaide Street West, that's looking a little bit busy at this time. Your next report is coming up at 3:01. Now with the forecast, here is Malia Sheikh.
A cloudy start to the day, but that will be changing. A daytime high of +3. We are expecting some rain to move into the GTA in the afternoon, and there's also a risk for freezing rain, so drive carefully. A low of 2. Monday, it warms up to +8 as your daytime high, but that wet weather is sticking around. It's also going to be quite windy. A low of 1. Tuesday, snow showers in the forecast, and it cools down to +2 as your daytime high. Your high for today, 3 degrees.
Right now, downtown Toronto, it is 3 degrees, feeling more like 0 with a few clouds in the sky. And over at Pearson Airport, partly cloudy, 1 degree, feeling more like -4. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have the latest on the end to the mild winter weather that we've been enjoying so far this winter. Ice is in the forecast. 680 News Time 2:53.
Hey everyone, Sam from Best Brand Appliance. So us and Sub-Zero Wolf are bringing you just in time for the holiday season, the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet, between 25 to 45% off Sub-Zero Wolf. An incredible opportunity for all of you who are building or renovating, and also an amazing opportunity for all you designers and builders to get your clients massive discounts on Sub-Zero Wolf. This is in-store only, so just come to our Toronto or Vaughan location and see our amazing reps. If you're seeking Sub-Zero Wolf, come see the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet now at Best Brand Appliance.
Not sure what you do with that smart speaker you got for Christmas?
Simply ask to play 680 News. This is your breaking news station, 680 News. When you need to know, now.
680news.com.
If you've ever wanted to wear just your underwear in public, you're in luck. People are stripping down to their skivvies this week to skate the Bentway. It's all for the Bentway Polar Bear Skate. The event is free to all and is on from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. The first 100 pre-registrants get free hot chocolate after the skate. Still to come, in 60 seconds, we'll have your weekday business report. 680 News Time,
Exactly,
2:55.
hot chocolate. The rest is
I love these play dates with the kids.
But how did one glass of wine turn into 3? I was only going to have 1. Day-to-day pressures can contribute to increased drinking among women. Talking about it can help.
Hey, Jill. You've had a few drinks, and I know you've got a lot on your plate right now. Why don't you and the kids stay for dinner, and afterwards we can talk?
Drunk driving is a woman's issue, too. Learn how to reduce the risk at changetheconversation.ca.
It's Boxing Week at Rona and Lowe's. Right now, get 5 times the Air Miles reward miles on purchases of $100 or more before tax. So if you forgot to get your loved ones those power tools they really wanted for Christmas, awesome! Or that electric fireplace they wished for.
You do really love me.
Now you'll get 5 times the Air Miles reward miles with your purchase. Hurry into a Rona or Lowe's store to take advantage of this limited time Air Miles offer. Ends December 31st. Terms and conditions apply. Details in store.
680 News Time, 2:56. Now time for the 680 News Business Report.
I'm Chris McCusker. One of the top business stories this year, data breaches. And Trend Micro expects it could be a big story for 2020 as well. Greg Young is the Vice President of Cybersecurity.
Yeah, I think what it really comes down to is the experience between the victim company. For example, financial institutions, large banks, militaries, governments, they're pretty used to this kind of engagement and, sort of cyber war, whereas a lot of municipalities, provinces, small and mid-sized companies, they're not used to this.
And your organization published a report predicting 4 key themes that will define 2020, including how the future is complex, exposed, misconfigured, and defensible. Can you elaborate on that?
Complexity has always been the enemy of good security. So the more sort of technology, the more complexity, the more people involved, the easier it is for the attackers. For example, there's some open banking standards that are starting where third-party companies now can get involved in financial transactions that they previously weren't really involved with, called fintech companies or financial technology companies around the world. That's a new step that's going to be happening a lot of the next year. And that's a great concern. Once again, more complexity, more parties involved.
So how do we fight it?
And really just sort of, look at all of your technology. Unfortunately, there's a lot of companies now that aren't used to engaging in sort of, a lot of computer security, especially as they're bringing on technologies that used to be not smart and now they're smart through Internet of Things. So televisions, speakers probably aren't well secured. So those are all the things that you have to take care of in your business, as well as all of your primary business, especially anything associated with money. And last of all is keep your people really aware. It's that one-click link that can then be the stepping stone that attackers will use.
Greg Young is with Trend Micro. And with the business year in review, I'm Chris McCusker.
Need window inspiration? Then you need to speak to the experts. Hi, I'm Tom Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. Our window experts are experienced in working with architects, builders, and homeowners to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So whether you're replacing your old windows or building your dream home, dream the dream with Inline Fiberglass. If you can dream it, we can build it. Visit our Factory Direct showroom, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or inlinefiberglass.com.
Put us on and find out what to wear. The best weather reports in the city every 10 minutes on 680 News.
Happy holidays from the Monitoring Center. Let the Monitoring Center provide you peace of mind over the holiday season. Switch your current alarm system to TMC or pick from one of our customizable installation packages and let us protect what matters most. Think the Monitoring Center for your home security needs. Think security? Think the Monitoring Center. Why? Because we care.
What is going to happen when I press this button? Nothing.
Now your regional weather conditions in Caledon, partly cloudy -1. Over in Markham, partly cloudy -1 as well. In Oakville, partly cloudy 1 degree. Richmond Hill, partly cloudy -1. Downtown Toronto right now, it is 3 degrees, feeling more like 0, few clouds in the sky. This is CFTR 680 News, part of the free Radio Player Canada app. 680 News Time, 3 o'clock.
#1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Sunday, December 29th. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. And I'm Jordan Coulter. Here's what's making news this hour. The weather outside might not be frightful just yet, but freezing rain is set to hit the GTA later today. A man in his 50s is recovering in hospital after being struck by a vehicle near Dixon and Martin Grove. Police are intensifying their search for a 72-year-old man that has been missing for more than 30 hours.
It's the end of an era for an iconic image of Toronto's transit history, and Sunday is the last day you can ride them.
The Maple Leafs are race a third period deficit, making for an exciting finish against the Rangers. And could the Raptors go into Boston and avenge that Christmas Day loss? Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, survey says salary is not the number one consideration for most people considering a job change. I'll chat with the president of Hayes Canada.
680 News Time, 3:01. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carling Donahue.
This report is brought to you by Don Valley North Lexus. Right now, it's not too bad out there on the major routes. We only have a little bit of construction here and there, so nothing to really worry about. Right now, if you're traveling eastbound on the 401, east of Brock Street, we have a left lane closed off. That's just for some pothole repairs. It's going to take about a week to get that out of the way, so keep that in mind as we get closer to Monday morning, because it's going to cause a bit of a delay coming in and out of the city on the eastbound 401 there. Eastbound on the 407 this morning, the ramps to the 427 are closed off for some construction. And we're just getting a notification now saying that northbound on the DVP, right at York Mills, there's a right shoulder blocked with a stopped vehicle. So although it's not in a live lane, it's definitely a distraction. Just be careful coming around there. And if there's emergency crews on the shoulder, make sure you just pull over to the next lane if you can. And off of our major routes, we're seeing eastbound and westbound Commissioner Street is closed from Munition to Don Roadway, and north and southbound Don Roadway is closed from Commissioners to the Lakeshore. At Don Valley North Lexus, lease the 2020 Lexus NX 300 from just $188 bi-weekly for 40 months. Visit DonValleyNorthLexus.com for details. Your next report at 3:11 with the forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A daytime high of +3 today, a little bit warmer than our seasonal average of -1. A decent start to the day, cloudy, but we are expecting some rain in the afternoon. There's also a risk for freezing rain, so it might make for a messy commute. A low of 2. Your high for today, 3 degrees.
Right now, downtown Toronto, it is that high of 3 degrees, feeling more like 0, though, with a few clouds in the sky. And over at Pearson Airport, partly cloudy, 1 degree, feeling more like -4. 680 News Time, 3:03. Many are traveling to see many friends and family as it's officially the last weekend of 2019. But before you head out on the road, 680's weather specialist Malia Sheikh says some freezing rain could put a damper in your plans.
A cloudy start to your day in the GTA, but we are expecting periods of rain to begin in the afternoon. There's also a risk for freezing rain. It's also going to be quite windy, winds gusting out of the east up to 40 kilometers an hour. But that big story is that rain, which will pretty much be going on for much of the day in the GTA, so drive carefully.
Malia says the rain is set to continue into Monday morning. 680 News Time, 3:04. Police are currently investigating a situation that occurred at Dixon and Martin Grove. A man in his 50s was struck by a vehicle near the intersection. Officers say the man received injuries to his head and that they are serious. He has been taken to hospital, and road closures in the area have now reopened. 680 News Time, 3:04. Police say a 21-year-old man faces up to 18 charges after he allegedly pushed an officer into live traffic in Etobicoke. Just before 5:30 Saturday morning, an officer was called to a scene in the Lakeshore Boulevard and Ellis Avenue area. The suspect allegedly pushed the officer into live traffic and then fled on foot. He was later arrested, and after what officers are calling a violent struggle, police discovered the man was in possession of a handgun and narcotics. The 21-year-old Toronto man faces 18 charges, including possession of a loaded firearm, impaired driving, and assault of a peace officer.
Driving impaired by drugs specifically is what it says in here. That could be fucking
This
anything.
just into 680 News, where we're getting reports
You don't
of
even have
a
to be driving to
shooting
get
in the
these
area of
charges.
here
You can be at
Ontario
home.
Street
They
in
can
the
come charge you.
403 overpass, where police are saying a vehicle was struck by gunshots. The driver was not injured, but the suspect vehicle information is not yet known, but it will be given to us once the police update that situation. Northbound here Ontario Street is closed by the 403 while police officers continue to investigate. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story. You're listening to 680
All you
News.
gotta do is
They've
use
been
revolvers
blocked
and then
from
throw a
entering
bunch
their
of shell
homes
casings
for
on the
over a
ground from
month.
other people's
And now
guns.
the property management at
The fuck is they
235
gonna
Gosford
do?
Boulevard are set to move residents back in. Those residents are sounding the alarm about the building's safety in the wake of a deadly 5-alarm fire. 680's Michelle Mackey joins us with more.
It's a somber feeling here at the Staybridge Suites as displaced residents return home. Kareem Assad, the lawyer representing them, says nobody should be living at 235 Gosford Boulevard until air testing and surface sampling is completed and the results shared.
What criteria are they using to assess safety? That's an answer that the tenants and residents don't have yet, and it's what we are demanding.
This resident says his unit is not safe to go back to despite being cleared by the city. He was there just 2 days ago.
The smell is still there, very bad. The walls are contaminated, but all they just did is paint it over.
The City of Toronto says Toronto Building has worked with Toronto Fire and the Electrical Safety Association, along with numerous inspections of the site in order to assess building safety. In Woodbridge, I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time, 3:06. A tense encounter between York Regional Police and a lone gunman in near Major Mackenzie Drive and Bayview Avenue in Richmond Hill held locals in front for over 2 hours.
Faruqi,
680
you're
News
writing
today
about
has Danny
Canada.
has more.
Fuck
Emergency
off.
response units
No
entering
wonder.
the
I'm
house
not-
today
I'm not
where an
fucking
armed
reading the rest of
suspect barricaded himself for 12 hours. Diane King lives next door. Her house was taken over by emergency response units and police.
And they were all around my house. They were on my veranda. They were on my sun porch in the back. They were in my bushes. They were everywhere. I was thrilled they were there because I felt very safe.
Witnessing a critical moment firsthand after spending 12 hours locked inside her own
Police
home.
officers are like
They asked me to go
5
to the
times
basement
more likely
and
to
sit
commit
where there was no
crimes or
windows.
some
It was
shit
just
like that
after
in
10
Canada.
p.m. last night, the dramatic end to a standoff.
All you heard was pop, pop, pop from the windows breaking. And then from there, you heard bullets coming back from the house that he started shooting at them again.
The suspect has been remanded in custody and is scheduled to appear in court on January 2nd. For City News, I'm
Fucking
Katie
hose
Anthony.
bag. Yeah, the cops weren't
680
shooting. The
News
windows
Time,
just broke,
3:07.
and then he
Toronto
started shooting
police are
back.
increasing
What
their
the fuck are you
search for a
talking
missing
about?
man who has been missing for more than 30 hours. Justin Powell was last seen on Friday around 9:30 in the morning around Morningside Avenue and Shepherd Avenue. Powell is 72 years old, 5'5", around 120 pounds, with a medium complexion. He was last seen with a black toque, black winter jacket, navy pants, and gray shoes with red stripes. He is also wearing black glasses and appears unshaven. Police are asking residents to search their yards and outbuildings. If you see Powell, you are asked to contact police. 680 News Time, 3:08. A piece of Toronto's transit history is coming to an end today. 680's James Mackin explains.
The end is nigh for Toronto's legacy streetcar. The Canadian Light Rail Vehicle streetcars, also known as CLRVs, will take their final ride on December 29th before they're completely replaced by Bombardier's Flexity Outlook accessible streetcars. The Flexity Outlook cars have replaced almost every single CLRV throughout Toronto. Known for their status as one of the iconic
That's
images
not
of
how it
Toronto,
works. They don't
first
take
entered
one out and
service
put
40
one
years
in.
ago when they replaced the Red Rocket trains on the downtown streetcar routes. The TTC used 196 CLRVs throughout the past few decades, as well as an additional 52 articulated light rail vehicles, which would double the length of the CLRVs. If you'd like to take a last ride in an iconic piece of transit history, you can do so on Queen Street between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. The TTC will keep some of the CLRVs, and they plan on placing those in transit museums throughout Canada and the United States. I'm James Mackin.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News Time, 3:09.
You're listening to Toronto's 680 News.
It's Boxing Week at
There's a
Bayview
year on
Radio.
there. I don't
Time
see
for
it.
a great Canadian speaker sale featuring Totem Acoustic. For over 30 years, Vince Bruzzese has been lovingly crafting his Totem speakers right here in Canada. The sound is warm and musical. And the price? It's as close as you can get to buying direct from the factory. Babe Lore Radio's Boxing Week sale. TVs, turntables, headphones, and more in-store and online. And if you miss it, you miss it.
And from our family to yours, have a happy new year filled with the magic of music.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. As Empro predicted, the price of gas didn't budge. It's holding at $1.19.9 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News time, 3:10.
Joker, a meteor set to collide with our west coast in mere minutes. What do we do? Not to worry, Governor. I will simply fly around the Earth fast enough to reverse our polarity and turn back time. Joker away! You've only taken 3 steps. Here I go. You're basically standing still. Can the Toka help innocent citizens breathe easier? Probably not. Find out why at thetokaonline.ca.
My benchmark for comfort is my dad's old Lazy Boy. My benchmark for style is House and Home. I'll get them both at the big Lazy Boy Boxing Week sale.
With the biggest holiday of the year ending, now's the time for the Lazy Boy Boxing Week sale to begin. With huge markdowns and percentage off tags, this is the biggest sale of the year.
Double scratch and save up to 50% off your purchase.
How is the United
at
Arab
9
Emirates
stores.
not using Arabic numerals? I don't understand that.
680 News time, 3:11. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, handing things over to Carlin Donahue.
Thank you, Madison. It's a pretty good drive this morning. Right now, we just have a couple things here and there on the major routes and a bit off of our major routes. So eastbound on the 401, east of Brock Street, a left lane is closed. That's going to be closed for about a week. This is just for some pothole repairments, but it's not causing any delays right now. It's just something you might want to keep in the back of your head for when the busy work week starts. So just a heads up for that one. But right now, you're in the clear. Eastbound on the 407, the ramps to the 427 are shut down for some construction. If you're traveling on the northbound DVP this morning at York Mills, there's a stopped vehicle. It's now taking over the right lane. So just be careful traveling through that stretch. If you see an emergency vehicle, just make sure to hop over one lane if you can. Just give them the space they need. Off of our major routes, east and westbound Commissioner Street from Munition to Don Roadway is closed.
Belittling, minimizing words. So they're telling you what they want you to do. It's nothing.
That's closed as well. Those two things are closed off for some long-term construction, and that's going to last until about May. Your next report at 3:21 with the forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A cloudy start to the day today, a daytime high of +3 sounds pleasant enough, but what we are expecting is a lot of rain in the GTA, likely to begin in the afternoon. There's also a risk of freezing rain, so drive carefully. A low of 2 on your Sunday. Monday, it warms up to +8 as your daytime high, quite a bit warmer than our seasonal average of -1, but it is going to be quite rainy and windy as well. Your high for today, 3 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, it is 3 degrees with a clear sky, feeling more like 0. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, 1 feeling like -4. Similar to here in Toronto, a Safe Ride group is recruiting Quebec's volunteers in a run-up to New Year's Eve in an effort to reduce drunk driving. Spokeswoman Danielle Vane says the final night of the year represents a big challenge for Operation Red Nose, a holiday service that offers rides to people who've been drinking. Vane says a flood of calls between 1 a.m. to 2 means longer wait times and a greater risk that drivers will shun the service. Police across the province also aim to ramp up their road presence on December 31st. Still to come on 680 News.
Chopper crash update. I'm ABC's Chuck Severson. Coming up.
680 News time, 3:13.
They know what type of helicopter it was. Don't worry, that'll help you find it
Maybe
somehow.
you saw a real deal on an investment property. Well, don't wait for the money to fall from the sky. Call Northwood Mortgage and start taking care of business. Use your home to save money. Pay off your mortgage faster. See why Canadians have turned to Northwood Mortgage for over a quarter of a century. Visit NorthwoodMortgage.com. License 10349.
Missed out on Black Friday bargains? Don't worry. Hi, I'm Sean from New Balance Toronto, and we're gearing up for our Boxing Day blowout. From December 26th to January 12th, we're giving you the best prices of the year. Save up to 50% off footwear, apparel, and accessories. With deals like these, it's the perfect time to try something new or just stock up on the styles you love. New Balance Toronto, your fit specialist for 19 years. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Hey, it's 3 degrees and a clear sky. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here are the top stories this hour. An ice storm is set to hit the GTA later today. Cities north of Toronto already seeing a freezing rain warning. Toronto police are asking for the public's help in locating a missing 72-year-old man, Justin Powell, after being missing now for more than 30 hours. And coming up after sport, more on the 2020 American presidential race. 680 News Time, 3:15. Now, 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Colin Tetsky.
Maple Leafs entered play versus the Rangers, winners of 8 of their last 9, but even down 4-2 in the third, Tyson Barrie got the Leafs within 1 final minute. Leafs net empty. I'll let Joe Bowen do the rest.
Down low, one timer scores! This one is in, and this one is Austin Matthews!
As heard on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, Austin Matthews, second of the game, tied this game up at 4, now to overtime.
Panarin, back the other way. Panarin in with a pass, scores!
Tony DeAngelo ends the game 5-4. Rangers leave Toronto with the extra point. Elsewhere, 2 teams fighting for position in the Atlantic. The Canadiens taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Lightning picking up a 5-4 win in regulation. Raptors avenge their Christmas Day loss to the Celtics. Kyle Lowry with 30 points. Fred VanVleet, Patrick McCaw adding 18. Raptors pick up a 113-97 win over Boston. World Juniors for only the 5th time ever. Canada shut out at the tournament. This time losing to Russia 6-0. That means we have a 4-way tie atop the group. Canada, the Czech Republic, Russia, and the U.S. all have identical 1-1 records. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 3:16.
First and best. Breaking news when it happens on 680 News.
At Sicily Honda, our family wants your family to bring home a little joy during our Bring Home a Honda event. Come in during Boxing Week for our best deals of the year and receive a 55-inch TV or 1,000 Air Miles reward miles with your purchase. All inventory has been reduced, and yes, we need your trade-in. There's also a draw each hour to win a trip to Vegas. Conditions apply. Go to SicilyHonda.com for details and visit Sicily Honda, 88 Steeles Avenue, just west of Yonge.
There's still time to go extra rounds at 2001 Audio Video's biggest and best Boxing Week sale. There's still inventory reduced to the absolute lowest price ever and amazing door crashers. So hurry in for the best selection. From wireless and audio products to 4K smart TVs with 2-year warranty, many below cost. 2001 with the guaranteed lowest Boxing Week price. 2001.
In international news, 6 sets of remains have been recovered from the Thursday crash of the Hawaiian Tour helicopter, but it's too soon to identify the additional remains found Saturday, says emergency officials.
There were 6 people from different families and a pilot on the doomed chopper flight. Fire Battalion Chief Solomon Kenobo.
We were able to recover bound to happen.
Some additional remains as well as some personal effects. Hawaii Assistant Police Chief Bryson Ponce. The chopper was in bad condition, and we do suspect that besides being crashed, some burnt. The federal safety investigators will be looking into it. Hawaii Congressman Ed Case says there should be more oversight of tour helicopter businesses. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
680 News Time, 3:18. Former U.S. President Joe Biden is clarifying his position
The guy that was flying the helicopter took responsibility for everybody's life when he took off. It doesn't matter who worked on the helicopter, he took responsibility for it legally. And he's dead because he's in the helicopter.
Firsthand knowledge. There's no basis to that. So my point was, there would be no basis upon which to hold me as a
You're going to do it, write up a law that says you're going to write him a ticket?
that in fact I cannot have any impact on it.
The former vice president saying he would comply with a lawful order. Andy Field, ABC News.
680 News Time, 3:19. People in New York City turned out yesterday to throw out things they don't want to bring into 2020.
What don't you want to bring into the new year?
I'm getting rid of this science homework.
Brady from Nashville taking part in Good Riddance Day in Times Square, where people can shred and smash anything they want to leave behind. It's based on a Latin American custom where people stuffed dolls with bad memories, then lit the dolls on fire. There's no burning for Wendy, but she is planning some changes.
I'm looking forward to getting rid of my bad, healthy habits and looking forward to a healthier version of myself in 2020.
Brian Clark, ABC News, New York.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News Time, 3:20. During Boxing Week,
so much
would you
stupidness. I forgot the fucking
save
good shit
60% on a big bag of road salt? Or save big money on a sun vacation? Do we need to ask? Save hundreds on all-inclusive vacations and get an instant cashback bonus during sell-off vacations Boxing Week sale. And save that salt for your margarita. Visit one of our 6 stores in the GTA.
The Montreal airport refuelers are going on strike. That's actually all I got.
Every year, Steve and I look forward to the holiday season, and especially to our great Chesterfield Shaw Boxing Week sale. It's the best time of the year to visit us and select from our comfortable collection of sofas, sofa beds, sectionals, chairs, and recliner seating in leathers and fabrics. So don't get boxed in. Come see us today. Chesterfield Shaw, your leather superstar. Great Boxing Week specials all weekend in North York, Newmarket, Mississauga, Scarborough, and Midtown Toronto.
680 News Time, 3:21. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Carly Donahue.
This report is brought to you by Hakeem Optical. Right now, just a little bit of construction here and there, and other than that, you're in for a nice smooth drive. If you're traveling on the eastbound 407, the ramps to the 427, both north and south, are being closed off for some construction this morning. Otherwise, on the eastbound 401, east of Brock Street, a left lane is going to be closed off for about a week. This is for some pothole repairs. No delays right now, but keep that in the back of your mind for when we head into the work week, because coming home from the city, that's going to be a bit of a delay in the rush hour times. There was a stalled vehicle on the northbound DVP at York Mills. That has been cleared off, however. And other than that, your major routes are in great shape this morning. If you see something that we don't see, give us a hands-free call at star 680, and we'd be happy to report on that. East and westbound Commissioner Street off our major routes, that's closed off from Unison Street to John Roadway. And north and southbound John Roadway is closed from Commissioners to the Lakeshore. You
see things other people don't see.
30% off lenses during Hakeem Optical's Boxing Week sale. There's thousands of styles to choose from. End the decade in style with Hakeem Optical. Your next report at 3:31 with the forecast. Malia Sheikh.
A cloudy start to the day, but that will be changing. A daytime high of +3. Now we are expecting some rain to move in the afternoon. There's a risk for freezing rain as well. A low of 2 on your Sunday. Monday, it warms up to +8, but that wet weather continues, so just keep the umbrella in your car. We are expecting some windy conditions on your Monday as well. A low of 1. Tuesday, some snow showers in the forecast, and it cools down to +2 as your daytime high. Your high for today, 3 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, 2, feeling like a -3 with a clear sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, 1 feeling like -4. Remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $10,700. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the latest on the ice storm set to hit the GTA later today. 680 News Time, 3:23.
CAMH is Canada's leading hospital for mental health. Help make this year's holidays brighter for patients at CAMH through Gifts of Light. When you support Gifts of Light, a patient in need receives a gift that reminds them they aren't alone this holiday season. Small gifts can make a big difference to someone living with mental illness. Please, give a gift of light to someone in need at giftsoflight.ca today.
Weather is always changing. Now more than ever.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News.
Ask for us on your smart speaker.
A U.S. couple were married at the same donut shop they were where their young love splintered nearly 30 years ago.
Valerie Sneed and Jason Roy, meeting at a local Dunkin' Donuts in Worcester, Massachusetts back in 1992, had a conversation about their future. They stepped back from their relationship. They married other people. Both later divorced.
So after I say something about these two stupid motherfuckers, now the media's on links not clear between murders of two Toronto rappers in BC and Ontario.
Where do you think they just got married? Where the coffee was hot?
You're looking for something that ain't there.
At that same shop. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Coming up, your business report, 680 News time at 3:25.
They reported on the first one on Monday.
This is your breaking news.
The second one, what was that, Thursday?
How big are the Boxing Week savings at Arrow Furniture? You're
They
gonna
didn't say nothing about a link between the two till Saturday. Well, I said that on Friday.
By those end tables that match that coffee table. Get them all because right now you can save up to 70% on furniture for every room in your home while quantities last. Don't miss it. Save up to 70% at Arrow
The two guys dead in Mississauga, I said it was between the two of them killed each other. They said they weren't looking for nobody. That means the two killed each other. And that's what they just come out and say now.
Some savings are too big to fit into box. Like Sunwing's Boxing Week sale, where you can save up to 40% on all-inclusive vacations at top-rated resorts. Save big now, so this winter you can vacation better with our best price guarantee. But hurry, Boxing Week deals this hot will be flying off the shelf. Book by January 3rd with your travel agent or... 680 News time, 3:26. Now time for the 680 News Business Report.
I'm Richard Denman. Does 2020 have you thinking about changing jobs or taking stock of why you're happy with your current position? Those are some of the topics staffing giant Hays Canada asked in its annual survey of 3,000 employers and staff. Company President Rowan O'Grady is on the line. What are employees looking for in a job and what are employers willing to offer?
The number one thing is career progression. Number two is salary. Very, very close
Progression.
career progression, but it is second. And then third, it's about company culture.
Nobody wants progression.
To employers is, when it comes to salary, there's only one company pays.
I want to go on a big long journey for the rest of my life and never get ahead. No, we don't want that.
Is we're just going to pay more than everybody else. You know, good luck because someone else will pay more than you suddenly.
You say career progression is the top factor, but not everyone's chosen to rise up an organization's ladder.
For a lot of companies, they think career progression means I have to promote this person and pay them more and then move up the corporate ladder. But for people, a lot of people, what they say career progression means is, did I learn something new? Am I being challenged? Am I working on new kinds of projects? Am I giving
people don't go to work because they want to learn
things and feel like
they would go to
progressing
school.
themselves professionally. Maybe that isn't a promotion, and often it isn't. And I think there's a gap between.
I've never fucking thought, man, I feel stupid. I better find a job. I've never fucking thought that.
Work-life balance.
The vast majority of companies, and particularly the good employers, recognize that there's a lot of pressure and demands on people's lives. They have lives outside of work. They need to manage both somehow, and they need flexibility and understanding. Our advice, and we're an employer as well. Hays employs 300 people in Canada. Our approach and the advice that we give to our clients is, you've got to understand that. You've got to be flexible and trust people, but you also have to have a high expectation of results from people.
Hays Canada President Rowan O'Grady. In the Business Center, I'm Richard Denman.
Weather forecast you can bank on.
He's coming from the point of view of the employer, the owner class.
The 680 News weather.
He just nailed it in the very last sentence. His point of view is from the employer class.
Selling home can be complicated. In Toronto,
You have to get production out of these people.
$1 for your most prized possession.
Because that's how you think. You are constantly hiring to replace the people that are running the fuck away from you.
That's getleo.com and start packing.
We believe in being accountable to you, the listener, which is why we're a member of the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council.
Check this out. You got to write a letter.
We're
Check
committed
this
to
out.
upholding the highest standards of broadcasting and adhering to specific codes of conduct. If you have a comment on what you've heard, contact us or visit the CBSC's website, cbsc.ca. We'll respond to your concerns and send you information on the council and its codes.
Paul Cook and Catherine Chute.
So about once a year, each station will have to run those ads. That's the first I've ever heard of that fucking organization having a website in my entire life.
Frank Leo. I'm Scott McGill.
You have to send the broadcast standards people a letter, and they'll send you back information about what's allowed and not allowed on the radio.
Taking a look now at your business travelers forecast in San Francisco, possible drizzle 11, Atlanta, possible light rain and 19, Washington, D.C., drizzle and 12, in Boston, overcast sky and 3, in Halifax, clear -2, Ottawa, overcast and also -2, and in Edmonton, mostly cloudy sky there and -9. Downtown Toronto right now, it is 2 degrees, feeling like -3 with a clear sky, and over at Pearson Airport, 1, feeling like -4. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know. 680 News time, 3:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is December 29th. I'm Jordan Coulter. And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour. Christmas has come and gone, but the winter weather is only just beginning. An ice storm is on its way to the GTA. A shooting in Mississauga has left a vehicle riddled with bullet holes. Police are on the scene. A man is in hospital with serious head injuries after being struck by a car in Etobicoke.
Sunday is the last day you can ride one of the TTC's iconic streetcars before they're all replaced.
A wild finish at Scotiabank Arena between the Maple Leafs and the Rangers. Team Canada suffered one of their worst defeats in World Junior history. The Raptors get back against the Celtics. Sports at 45.
I don't know if you noticed.
And coming up in business, a look at one of the top stories of the year. A rough ride for the cannabis stocks. We speak to an analyst about what went wrong and where we go from here.
680 News time, 3:31. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carling Donahue. This report is brought to you by Markville Toyota. Right now, if you're out on the major routes, starting your morning commute, lucky you, there's not a whole lot going on. We just have a few construction spots. One of them going to be long-term or semi-long-term, eastbound on the 401, just east of Brock Street. There's a left lane that's closed off. Now, it's not causing any delays right now or any problems for anybody because there's not a lot of volume on the roads, but come Monday morning, Monday afternoon, people heading in and out of the city, this is going to be a spot you might want to consider avoiding. So just keep this in the back of your head. East 401, east of Brock Street, there's pothole repairs in the left lane. So you're going to be driving there without one lane as well. So that's going to just cause a little bit of backup. In the meantime, though, you're good. No delays. Eastbound 407, ramps to the 427. They're both closed off right now. That's north and southbound you have no access to. And other than that, major routes in great shape this morning. We're not seeing any delays. The Gardner, the QEW, the 404 DVP, everything's moving up to speed. Off our major routes, we have some long-term construction closures. East and westbound Commissioner Street is closed from Munition to Don Roadway, and north and south Don Roadway is closed from Commissioners to the Lakeshore. Right now at Markville Toyota, get cash saving incentives up to $8,000 on select
Your complaint must be made in writing.
Markville Toyota, Highway 7, just east of McCowan. Your next report's coming up at 3:41
send a letter
with
or
the
a
forecast.
fax,
Here's
and it says there's a complaint
A
form,
cloudy
but I
start
don't
to
see
your
it.
day, a daytime high of +3 on your Sunday,
Okay,
warmer than our seasonal average of -1. And we are expecting some rain in the afternoon for much of the GTA. And there is a risk of freezing rain as well in the afternoon, so drive carefully. A low of 2. Your high for today, 3 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, it is 2, feeling like -3 under a clear sky. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, 1 degree, feeling like -4. 680 News time, 3:33. While the weekend is looking beautiful right now, conditions will rapidly change by this afternoon due to an incoming ice storm.
I don't see how that
freezing rain and even snow in some areas. 680's meteorologist Jason Fraser said several parts of the GTA won't see a break from their precipitation until late Monday.
We will, however, get a break from some of those rain showers likely on Monday afternoon, but that same system likely Monday night into Tuesday will give us some snow flurries. Wouldn't be surprised to even see some accumulation upwards of 5 centimeters, but depending on how slow this storm moves, we could see areas where some of us could end up seeing 10 and even 15 centimeters.
This will make surfaces extremely slippery, which raises the danger for drivers as well as people walking on sidewalks and parking lots. Stay tuned to 680 News for more details coming up in the extended forecast. 680 News Time, 3:34. Breaking news from Mississauga, where a vehicle has been struck by gunshots in the area of Hurontario Street and the 403 overpass. Police say the driver of the damaged vehicle has not been injured. No suspect vehicle description has been released at this time. Northbound Hurontario Street is closed by the 403 while officers continue their investigation. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story.
Shell casings, just
680 News Time at 3:34. A man in his 50s has been rushed to hospital with injuries. Constable David Hopkinson has more.
A pedestrian had been struck, and we were told that the injuries were serious. A man in his 50s had received some head injuries after coming into contact with a car.
It happened around 6:30 yesterday evening at the intersection of Dixon and Martin Grove. There is no information on the suspect driver or any charges being laid at this time. Road closures in the area have now reopened. You're listening to 680 News. A 21-year-old man is facing charges after he allegedly pushed a Toronto police officer into oncoming traffic on Saturday morning. Toronto police say the officer stopped behind a vehicle that had been involved in a collision and noticed that the driver appeared to be impaired by drugs. Investigators say the man pushed the officer into traffic when they tried to arrest him. They say the officer chased the man across the Gardner Expressway.
So how did they charge him with escape lawful custody if he wasn't in custody?
Police say they seized a loaded and concealed handgun and
you got to arrest him for escape lawful custody. That doesn't make
charges that include assaulting a peace officer, driving while impaired by a drug, escaping lawful custody, and carrying a concealed weapon.
They covered that story within the last hour. It didn't say that.
After a 12-hour standoff between York Regional Police and a lone gunman who barricaded himself in a home in the area of Bayview and Major Mac in Richmond Hill, an arrest was made at last. But it was quite the ordeal for residents in the general area. Emergency response crews surrounded the home of Diane King, the next-door neighbor of the suspect, who was alarmed but grateful for the police presence.
And they were all around my house. They were on my veranda. They were on my sun porch in the back. They were in my bushes. They were everywhere. I was thrilled they were there because I felt very safe. They asked me to go to the basement.
And they won't do shit to protect you. You're a woman. They don't help women.
The windows breaking.
They don't even help female cops. They back up and let them get shot at.
He started shooting at them again.
The suspect was arrested after 10 o'clock on Friday night. No injuries have been reported. 680 News Time, 3:36. It's holiday season, and unfortunately, this is the time when parental abductions rise. Cyril Tasascu from City News has more.
Common time for people to travel. This also means it's a peak time for parental abductions. That's according to Canadian border officials. They say there's a rise in these types of kidnappings at this time of year.
Parental abductions are the highest number of investigations yearly in Canada.
Missing Children Society CEO Amanda Pick says in 2018, there were about 200 kidnappings that involve parents and less than 30 stranger abductions. Because there's an increased risk for kids to be abducted by a parent during travel season, the Missing Children Society has some suggestions.
Simple things like that your child knows your contact information, knows how your phone number and how to be able to get a hold of you.
It's important for parents to have all their legal documents as well as the letter of consent from the other parent before traveling with their child. From Edmonton, Cheryl Tasascu, City News.
Toronto's transit system is making a few changes. 680's James Mackin has more.
After 4 decades, the TTC's iconic streetcar will be no more. Since arriving to TTC property on December 29, 1977, and entering service 2 years later in September of 1979, the Canadian Light Rail vehicles, aka the CLRV, have been an iconic image of Toronto, up there with the CN Tower. Sunday, December 29th is the last day you can ride it, and it'll be running a free service on Queen Street from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. You can't take it for the whole route, though. It's only traveling between Bathurst Street and Greenwood Avenue. The entire fleet is being replaced by Bombardier's new low-floor streetcars, which means that every TTC bus and streetcar will now be accessible. While the CLRV will run no more, the iconic image will live on in the hearts and memories of Torontonians. I'm James Mackin.
680 News Time, 3:38.
680 News.
Year in review.
Brought to you by the Chesterfield Shop.
This is Jamie Pulper with a look back at Sunday, November 10th, marking 40 years since the Mississauga miracle. No one was killed in this massive train derailment despite the potentially disastrous circumstances. A Canadian Pacific freight train filled with chemicals and explosives going off the rails just before midnight near Mavis and Dundas.
A cloud of deadly chlorine gas is leaking from a derailed tanker car west of Toronto.
An explosion sending a fireball thousands of feet into the sky, visible 100 kilometers away, triggering at the time the largest peacetime evacuation in North America involving 250,000 people.
Police would love me to get dressed. So,
Hazel McCallion was the mayor.
I remember the morning I stood out on Ontario with the press and said, the city is closed down.
And residents also remember.
You could actually feel it come through the ground, and we kind of all looked at each other and said, what was that?
That was actually the last major explosion in the GTA until the Sunrise propane blast in 2008. With the year in review, I'm Jamie Pulfer.
That was a big one.
News Time, 3:39.
One person died. The moron that didn't follow the rules of handling propane.
That means you can take advantage of the biggest markdowns of the year whenever you want without ever going outside. Save up to 65% on clearance items, including fashion, jewelry, beauty, and home products. Plus all.
I don't care about either of these two motherfuckers. I might as well say their names because it's going to sound retarded if I don't. Links not clear between murders of 2 Toronto rappers in BC and Ontario. Police. It was apparently Monday and Tuesday, not Thursday. Whatever. I didn't hear about it till Wednesday and Thursday. So, homicide investigators in BC say it's not yet clear whether the murders of 2 up-and-coming Toronto rappers on opposite ends of the country are linked. Toronto is not at the end of the country. We are exactly in the middle of the fucking country. I can't believe I missed that the first time I read that. Police at the end of the country would be what? Newfoundland, Halifax, which is like 1,500 miles or some shit. Police have identified Keyshawn Brown, also known as rapper YS. And I don't know, is that any relation to YG? Because he's a little pussy boy too, eh? It's spelled W-H-Y, not the letter Y. So I don't get it. As the 18-year-old man who was found suffering from fatal gunshot wounds in a Surrey, BC home around 9:30 p.m. Monday. Surrey, crack-ass movie. Crack-ass movie. Around 3 a.m. Tuesday, Durham Regional Police responded to reports of shots fired in Oshawa, Ontario, and found 24-year-old Jakar Stewart, who performed as Bivoli and was pronounced dead at the scene. 9:30 p.m. Monday. Hold on. At 9:30 p.m. It was already 12:30 here. So it's only 2 hours between the two. Around 3 a.m. Tuesday, Durham Regional Police responded to reports of shots fired in Oshawa, Ontario. Blah, 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 blah. On Saturday, Detective Lara Jensen with BC's Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, IHIT. You should put the first I as a lowercase I, like iPhone. Said Brown had been targeted in the shooting and that he was the only one inside the South Surrey home at the time. The owner of the property has not been disclosed. It's a very strange thing to say because for like whatever the fee is, they could look it up anytime they wanted from their fucking editor, their fucking journalist room, whatever they're doing, their boiler room. So they could easily find out who owns the property. There's no disclosure of who owns the property. It's land records, right? She added Brown was not known to police in BC and could not speak to whether he had run-ins with police in Ontario. Well, that means he didn't, stupid. His name does not show up in Ontario court records. We're just trying to establish what Mr. Brown was doing in BC, Jansen said. We really don't know how long he has been out here. What we're trying to do is identify anybody who was with him or anybody who has information as to what he was doing out here. He was in Surrey in a house by himself. The fuck do you think he was doing? He was chipping rocks. Jansen also, or he was trying to. Maybe he was buying crack. I don't fucking know. But it was crack, guaranteed. Jansen also couldn't speak to whether the murders of Brown and Stewart were connected. Well, they happened 2 hours apart, eh? And it takes about 2 hours before this shit hits the news, too, eh? Quote, I'm not aware of any link to the other rapper who was killed in brackets, Oshawa. So I don't know what she would have said because it's Oshawa. I know that our investigators have been in contact with agencies in Ontario, specifically whether it's Toronto police or not, I'm not aware about. You're not aware about. Okay. But I do know that they did have to reach out in order to assist with the, this is identification. A spokesperson for this, these people can't form sentences, eh? The police. A spokesperson for the Toronto Police Service could not confirm whether it had been contacted by IHIT or Durham Regional Police in regards to either case. He also couldn't speak to whether Brown or Stewart had histories with TPS, saying their last names were, quote, too common, end quote, to make the connection. Brown and Stewart, yeah, they are. Jermaine Lincoln Brown got shot to death 5 times March 27th, 2006 at 235 Grand Ravine, running from the parking lot at the back to the front of the building. Don't ever run for the front door of a building. It's going to be locked when you get there. And they found his Toyota Camry idling or some shit. 2 black guys supposedly were the shooters. And I know the other people behind that shit. True that. Don't worry. We see you to it. Global News has reached out to Durham Regional Police for comment. No arrests have been made in either case. Jansen said the suspect in Brown's murder likely knew him, but Durham Regional Police have not made the same statement about Stewart's killer. You people don't think at all, eh? Because they don't ever put their name as an acronym, ever. But the Toronto Sun chose to today. Instead of Durham Regional Police, they put DRIP, DRP, DRP, DRIP. That's why they don't put it as an acronym, eh? Sounds stupid. Brown and Stewart were considered up-and-coming rappers in the Toronto hip-hop scene. By who? They were both featured on songs included on the Bullshit Bullshit playlist, curated by Bullshit Bullshit, a Toronto-focused hip-hop and entertainment blog that has also premiered music videos by the 2 artists. I don't know who the fuck you are. You're misusing the fucking nickname of the city, so you ain't from here. Why would I listen to what you want me to listen to? That's bullshit. Earlier this year, YS, which one is YS? Keyshawn Brown, the one that got killed in BC. Where were we? Earlier this year, Keyshawn Brown released singles and videos for the tracks Go Fuck Yourself and Go Fuck Yourself, which have racked up more than 300,000 views on YouTube. Racked up. They got to use our words. Racked up. And it doesn't say if that's for each one or all together. And they pay for those views. Toronto rappers buy views. Some of them have admitted it. This year also saw Bavoli release the album blah blah blah. His Spotify account says he has 46,910 monthly listeners. Okay, so his biography on the music stream that his goal was to quote, I don't know why you're telling us this, was to quote, challenge hip-hop game with his talented wordplay, hard